Okay, I think we're live. Just give us a few seconds so that we can launch all of our streams. Give us just one moment and I think we'll be good to go. Hey guys, welcome back to S4 Summit 2023, the winter edition. Please let us know, as always, if you can see us and if you can hear us, if everything's okay. Please let us know. Okay, I think we are ready to start. Okay, we have the first comment even out here in the comment box. Hi guys, I can see you are joining us for the next session. And as you can probably tell, for this session, we are actually switching to English, and that's because we have some great people with us here that will present in English. We have joining us today Kinga Waszkielewicz. She's a marketing automation consultant in PwC, and we also have with us Zuzanna Wojciechowska, who's a senior marketing cloud business consultant in PwC. We are very happy to be joined by two great professionals. Kinga Waszkielewicz, she has 2 years of experience in Salesforce solutions and prior experience in management and digital marketing. She's a graduate of a business degree from Kosmiński University and ESCP Europe. In her daily work, she uses technical knowledge and consulting skills to deliver high-quality technical solutions that go hand in hand with the client's business needs and goals. And as you can see on your screen, we also have Zuzanna Wojciechowska with us. She is a senior marketing cloud consultant. She has over 4 years of experience in building custom Salesforce solutions. She gained her expertise in marketing automation by working with clients from various industries on large and medium-scale projects. She's passionate about cognitive sciences with a particular interest in AI safety and AI ethics. Very much on point these days. Okay, I can see you guys saying that everything is fine, that you can see us and hear us. That's great, because we have a very interesting topic ahead of us, how to effectively and creatively use AI in marketing automation. One more thing from me before I let our speakers start their presentations. Please be sure to leave your questions in the comments. If you have any concerns, anything is particularly interesting for you, leave your questions in the comments. I will be joining our presenters in about 50 minutes to be presenting the questions and reading them. So let us know. Please leave your comments on YouTube, on Facebook. You can also hit us up on our inbox and let us know if you have any questions. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much, girls, for joining us today, and I'll be leaving you with our viewers. Hi.
Perfect. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for a warm welcome from the hosts. And together with Zuza, we wanted to say that we are very pleased to be here today with you. So this morning, we'll be talking about the use of artificial intelligence in marketing automation. We have picked this particular topic because AI strategy is a common concern in many business organizations, and it's currently discussed by various professionals in many areas of specialization. Still, in many cases in business, AI as a tool is left in the area of theory, where managers and employees do not know how to incorporate it in their everyday life and do it in a safe way. And it's not only about the Salesforce Marketing Cloud instances, but also in other areas of work. That is why we're coming to you today. And let's jump right into our presentation. So in our agenda, we have first an introduction to AI, when we're going to align on what AI is. Then we're going to discuss the business areas for application of AI, when I will be talking more about the possible use cases from the life of business consultants, managers, and PMs, and all other marketing-related roles. Then I'm going to talk about the Einstein for Salesforce Marketing Cloud, where I will discuss the key functionalities of Marketing Cloud Einstein, which is a Salesforce Marketing Cloud feature that uses the Salesforce AI for marketing activities. And then we're going to end up on AI safety and guidelines, where Zuza will review a few considerations that we should keep in mind when using AI. By the way, please remember that that in your technological transformation, the use cases we will be providing can help you kickstart your journey, but still they should be a part of a bigger AI strategy that you should develop as well. Therefore, treat today's presentation as an inspiration for new ideas that can bring value for your business and you individually. But remember that this 50-minute presentation is not an AI strategy for your business. Enjoy the presentation, and now I'm passing the mic to Zuza.
Thank you. Thank you. So before jumping into the definitions, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a conversation with someone about whether a movie or a book depicts artificial intelligence the right way, or whether some piece of tech or a game uses the real AI? Or maybe you struggle to understand what exactly stands behind the term AI. If the answer to any of those questions is yes, then hey, you're not alone with this. The term AI has been used all over the place in pop culture, in advertising, in business, in philosophy, and computer science, of course, and many times it's seemingly referred to something different. And indeed, there are different definitions of artificial intelligence. And if you give it a thought, it really isn't that surprising. Because you see, artificial intelligence is often defined as the ability of a machine to perform actions that are commonly associated with human intelligence. But human intelligence also doesn't have a clear cut definition. But what is important for you and me today is to establish a common understanding of AI in the context of this presentation only. So, in this context, we can broadly define artificial intelligence as a technology that excels at recognizing patterns and generating predictions. It can take many different forms and can be found in myriads of applications. Today, we'll be highlighting two important and somewhat distinct AI capabilities, which are predictive analytics and generative AI. So, with predictive analytics, we focus on generating actionable insights based on given data. Think of smart product recommendations, discovering hidden trends and anomalies in data, performing engagement scoring, or having hyper personalized interactions with customers based on their behavior and preferences. The generative AI adds a new quality to the mix, if you will. It's capable of producing novel content out of existing data, and you can think here of image, text, code, audio, video generation, and applications such as revised product descriptions, generating marketing copies, or summaries of communication with customers and clients. That's, of course, not every example, but you'll be able to recognize these capabilities in the examples that we'll be providing throughout this presentation. So, without further ado, let's move on to the next part and see how we can leverage these capabilities in marketing automation. Kinga?
Thank you very much for a great introduction, Zuza. So let's now jump into business areas of application of AI. I will start more with the management related topics and then proceed to the campaign related activities. By the way, as a disclaimer, due to a corporate policy, I cannot mention any specific corporate names or tools outside of Salesforce portfolio, but I will give you an overview so you can find them on your own. Also, please always check with your business policies if you are allowed to, and in which areas you can use AI-based tools in your company. So, as being productive starts with something so important as our time, the most expensive currency. With AI managed calendar, you can reduce the time it takes for you to plan your week and focus on other tasks. I'll be using an example of car dealership across all of our use cases for consistency. So in this case, for example, you are a manager or an employee, and within the tool, you can set up a one-on-one recurring meeting with your boss on Thursdays, even though his or her calendar is changing every day. The AI picks the right time slots and set up the meeting for you. Or you can regularly book a lunch break, for example, in a selected time slot in the midday, so you don't need to worry about it each day, even though there are some meetings happening every day. Second thing, again, very important for management, is creating and documenting all of the work. Memos, summary emails, briefs, they take a lot of time. We all know that. And they're maybe not the most pleasurable thing to do. So coming back to the example of dealership, you have a meeting with your team and you are assigned to create a Word document after each meeting about what was said and what were the next steps, and then send an email with a bullet point summary to the entire team. As an input, instead of spending at least an hour or two writing all of these documents and emails, you can use your quick notes that you have made during the meeting and ask AI to structure it accordingly to your wants within seconds. Of course, you need to review it later in the end, but you save so much time and you can focus on more important tasks. we're starting to shift towards more of the creative work. So we are going into the campaigns. Building awareness of the brand in the digital world takes time, and being creative and regularly posting without making the content repetitive and boring, it's really a massive skill. But coming back to the dealership example, you can ask AI to help you to generate the copy for your social media promotion posts, for hashtags, for example, about the new car model. You can even ask to generate some creative visuals with the new car model and get inspired from that. Also, if you would like to make a video, you can ask AI to generate subtitles for you so you no longer need to input them manually and, well, save a lot of time with that. So with your social media posts happening on a regular basis that maybe you have created using the AI tools, maybe it's the time to target potential new clients with a campaign. With AI, you can optimize media buying as well by testing which contents will perform better before you spend your budget on them. So with your new visuals of a car, you can input them into a system and see which one of them is going to perform better according to the AI. Is the red color background actually making the car look more interesting to the clients? Well, give AI a try. With AI, you can check the brand perception insights as well using the sentiment analysis. So back to your example, you have your campaign ready. You have the copy and visuals with the new car, and they're all posted. But you'd probably like to know what your customers are telling about you online and how they react across different social media. You can do that using AI tools and check, for example, the online anomalies. So maybe your customers started generating memes about your car. With that, you can prevent any crisis or reduce its size before it happens on a big scale. And as well, you can verify what other people are searching together with your brand. So brainstorming and generating ideas for new products is another great example for the use of AI. So in your car dealership, the business is going great. You have your customers visiting. Some of them are enjoying your brand so much that they're asking you about your merch with your logo, but you don't have it in your offer yet. You have noticed that other dealerships are selling coffee mugs to their clients so they can enjoy their morning coffee every time they ride a car. But how to take care of a nice design? If you're looking for an inspiration, you can ask as well the AI to generate product designs or versions of different shapes and see how they're matching your brand. For example, you could ask AI to generate different shapes of a coffee mug, different colors and sizes to see which one looks best and which one that's actually going to match your cars that you're selling. It can help you to visualize the packaging as well. If you're not sure if you'd like to sell them in a paper box or maybe a bag would be better looking, you can ask and see that by yourself. Of course, I'm not saying it's going to solve all of your issues with the design, and most of the work is still on you, but it can increase your pool of ideas and it can help you to generate them quicker. Going further, chatbots are very popular and again are a great support for your brand when reducing the support cases overload. Even from the Salesforce world, we heard about the Einstein GPT, and it's a fantastic example of such support. But back to our example, sticking to the campaigns, you have the new campaign, and you see there are a lot of new customers coming to your website and asking about the particular car that you're promoting on the chat. Normally, you would have a person from your support team to manage all of the requests, but the amount is going out of our hand. What to do in such case? So with a preset AI chatbot, you can reply to most common requests of customers and transfer them, for example, to an online schedule of appointments in the dealership. And still the most important cases can be captured by human-led support team. With such help and great collaboration between human and AI, you can create very good customer contact. So with all of the marketing efforts and campaigns, it comes the time right now to check how your business is doing. With your car dealership, you can check your profits, client satisfaction, retention, and many other KPIs. The benefit of AI is that you may notice some correlation and dependencies that you maybe could not notice by yourself in the big loads of data. For example, you have noticed that after appointments with one specific mechanic, customers are more satisfied with the visit and tend to buy more of car accessories. From that, you try to dig a little bit deeper on your own, and it turns out that this mechanic is a great at customer service and pitching your products. You did not know that before, but data shows it clearly. You ask him to lead the training to other mechanics and have similar impact as well. So overall, you're increasing the team's performance. Going further, from a wider perspective, AI can be a great help with tracking new trends of your customer behavior and increasing your awareness of customers. With predictive analytics for your business, you can analyze and get insights from many trends. For example, for your car dealership, you can analyze the prediction of sales of cars for the next months and maybe adjust your strategy accordingly. If you see the sales dropping, maybe it's time to increase your marketing, etc., etc. You can check potential churn of customers, and if, for example, they're not engaging with your brand, engage more support into the calls with the clients. Also, with the trend analysis, you can see new potential in the market. So maybe you're going to discover that the electric vehicles are a growing part of the business, and you could expand your branch in that area as well. With a deep understanding of your customers, well, right now you have your campaigns, you understand your KPIs. Now it's the time to take your campaigns into the next level. Using AI, you can engage with truly relevant contents on the web page or cross-channel. One of the great tools that is Marketing Cloud personalization. You can use it for that, and I think it's a fantastic use case. Unfortunately, today we only have 50 minutes, so I won't be talking about this particular tool today, but I wanted to mention the main benefits of application. So for the car dealership website, you can set up the page so your customers can see their preferred car types and models when they visit, or for example, they see the main banner when they enter the website. When they are scrolling through the page, they could see the suggested products, for example, the car or car accessories, or maybe even the mug that we have just designed with the AI that match their profile and searches using a real-time segmentation. And last but not least, the AI-supported marketing campaigns, which I would like to discuss directly on the Salesforce Marketing Cloud Einstein feature. So let me pull up my screen. So starting first, I hope you can see my Salesforce Marketing Cloud main page. Salesforce Marketing Cloud is a solution from Salesforce Suite that is specific for marketing automation. Einstein for Salesforce Marketing Cloud is one of the features that is not included in all Marketing Cloud editions as standard. So please check your subscription plan to verify if it's available for you as a standard option or paid add-on. By the way, I'm going to be presenting it on the demo instance of Salesforce NTO, which is Northern Train Outfitters, which is basically a retailer of outdoor apparel. But I will try to adjust my examples to the car dealership. So keep that in mind that maybe some of the examples you're going to be seeing may be adjusted to the online retailer. So going first into the Einstein overview. So right now we are directly in the Einstein feature that was available at the top ribbon when scrolling through the main page. Here you can see the summary of all of the available statistics on the bottom, and on the top you have the access to all of the documentation and information if you'd like to read a little bit more on that. Please remember that if you'd like to use your Einstein feature, you need to turn it on first, and the time necessary for data gathering is around 90 days. And going further into all of the statistics, I'm going to describe them one by one in all of the subpages. So starting with the send time optimization, which is the tool that helps to determine the best send time based on your user behavior and open times. So STO activity sends messages to a contact at the time when the contact is most likely to engage with the message within the next 24 hours to send. And as you can see on the panel, you can see how many addresses were analyzed, when the customers are most likely to engage with your message over the days. And for example, if you would like to check on a particular day, so for example, today, because today is Wednesday, if you'd like to see on which hour it would be the best to send the message, you can see, for example, that today at 12 would be a fantastic time to send a particular message. But coming back to our example, if, for example, you have a specific record, a specific person that checks regularly their emails in the morning, for example, on the bus on their way to work, Einstein most likely will set the sending time of that person to the morning when they have the highest chance of clicking and going through the message. And if you'd like to know how to set it up and is it actually difficult, not at all. It's very easy within the Journey Builder. So this is the tool for creating the automated journeys and journey paths. In here, you just add a tile with Einstein STO, and you pick a time frame within which the email send should happen. So you can pick 4 hours, 12, 24, or even longer periods of time. And within one click, you run it, and then you can see all of the results. Going further, we have the engagement scoring. So this model tracks engagements, which are the clicks, opens, and unsubscribes, and additionally classifies the contacts into the following personas. So we have the loyalists. So in here, the green one, or the blue, but specific tone of blue ones. So which are the subscribers with high open and click engagement. Then the blue ones are the selective subscribers. So the subscribers with low open and high click engagement. Then we have the window shoppers. So subscribers with high open and low click engagement. And win back dormant. So subscribers with low open and click engagement. As well, what is very interesting, besides all of the statistics you can see here and adjust your strategy, your marketing strategy accordingly for the next 7 days, you can track actually how these different groups that I have just mentioned are changing over time. So for example, you can see in here that in the group of selective subscribers that you have, actually they're turning later into the loyalists, which is very good for you. But some of them you can see are turning into window shoppers, and it's a very detailed statistics that you can later use and target them with different communication. And talking about different communications, what exactly could you do to maintain such relationships? For loyalists, for example, you could send special offers and deals to keep nurturing the relationship with them. For example, promos for car accessories or your merch. For selective subscribers, you could target them with action-oriented subject lines like check now, so make them open your emails a bit more. For the window shoppers that open your email but do not click, personalize more of your emails with the incentives that encourage clicking, for example, something with action-oriented CTAs. And for win back dormant, try to re-engage them with a different channel. For example, send them an SMS or a push message. And again, coming to the setup within the journey, this is very similar to the STO. It's a one tile in which with clicks, you can set up the different journey styles. You can divide it by personas, open, click, and unsubscribe likelihood. And then you're gonna have the different journey paths for each option. And in here, you can see with the email opens, if somebody is in the high likeliness of opening, you send them an email. If they're not so likely to open emails, you send them a push. If they don't open anything, you just skip the message for this particular campaign. Going further, we're going to jump into the Einstein engagement frequency, which analyzes contact saturation with marketing communication and recommends the optimal number of messages to be sent. So in here, you can see, which is a very useful statistics for the business, how saturated contacts are in the business unit. So saturated contacts are, according to the algorithm, the contacts that receive more messages than is optimal. On target are the contacts that receive messages at the right frequency, and undersaturated are the contacts that receive fewer messages than it's optimal. What is very interesting as well, if you'd like to see the statistics of how to change that and make the undersaturated to on target or from saturated to on target, you can pick that in here and see how many emails does the platform suggest for your particular clients. Going further with the setup and communication, you can do that directly from the journey builder, again with a specific tile, and you can adjust the different communication depending on your customer groups. In here, we have the saturated, almost saturated, on target, and unsaturated. For example, for saturated, you're reducing any communication, so they only receive only high priority campaigns if possible. For the on target, you maintain the normal communication. And for the undersaturated, you can focus on increased mailing. So here we actually have one, but you can add 2 emails, for example, something more educational. So we make them more engaged with your platform. Going further, we have the Einstein Copy Insights, which is a very useful tool for testing effectiveness of subject lines. So every one of you that's writing briefs, please listen carefully to that one. So in the Einstein Copy Insights, what you see is the analysis of your subject lines. How are they performing in terms of engagement, but as well the language factor insights that matter and the emotional tone insights that are on your instance, which basically means in which ways are you speaking to your customers. As well, you have the top performing phrases and most frequently used phrases within your copy. What's important, you have the performance tester, which I find very useful if you want to increase the engagement rates, into which you can put the subject line to test. And I have created such test for our car dealership and pick the subject line. For example, this is the time, this is your time. Yeah, I just made a typo there. Basically, it just shows you how is the subject line performing against the average and if you should improve it or not. And as we can see, it's average. Maybe it's something you could work on. And that's great because how to actually work on that, if you make a typo like in here, you can ask the Einstein Copy Insights subject line generation to generate subject lines for you and make them even better. So for example, in the key message, I have already inputted a message I would like to generate. I have picked a brand personality. You can pick either casual or professional. You can provide some sample subject lines if you have them, but if you don't, that's okay too. And the system is going to generate draft subject lines for you, which is a fantastic and very helpful and quick skill. You can do the same with the body copy if you like as well. And going further, talking about the contents right now. So we have the subject already, we have the send time. We know to which customers we groups we're going to be sending. We have the contents to be sent. And we have a tool that's called Einstein Content Selection that helps you to send the best personalized content to every customer. And it's a no-code, open-time experimentation tool. And with such specific tool, you can optimize your sends. So you no longer need segmentation or AMP script to match asset attributes because you can set it up directly within the tool. And what I wanted to show you first is the setup, because this is, well, the most important thing, and without the setup, it's not going to work correctly. So with the stages of the setup, what's very important is that first you define the asset classes. So you're going to input, are you using banners or are you using different visuals? Basically, you need to define each of them, or the coupons, for example, each of them needs to have their own class. You create the asset attributes on which you're going to have the personalization. So basically, you just add specific values to your images. And then you configure the profile attributes. So basically, from your customers list, you need to say on which records you're going to be matching. For example, the gender, the city, the car type of interest, if it's going to be sport or family car. You need to input that in here so the system knows how to correlate those different criteria. Then you need to pick the data extension with the details regarding your customers. and you set the selection rules. And this is very interesting with the selection rules because this is something that helps you to make it even more personalized. So firstly, the attribute mapping. So what I said, you firstly define the asset attributes. So what do you assign to your visuals? To the consumer attributes. So within your data extension, within your data tables, what do you have on the profile? So you need to add the matching first. Then you add the exclusion rules. So you define when the assets should not be visible to the customers with the specific subscriber properties. And as I mentioned before, we're on the NTO instance, so that's why it's related more to the retail of the gear for mountain hiking, etc. But for the car dealership example, for example, you could not show assets for premier customers that continuously make large purchases, and for them you don't want to show coupons, for example, because they still make large purchases. Then you can set up the fatigue rules. So after how many views you do not show the same visual to the records, which makes it more various for the records and more interesting. And you can change the variety as well. So depending on the specific topic or the city, you limit the amount of the same visuals within one message. And then you have the list of your all assets. This is a different tab of the Einstein content selection, when you can see all of the tags that were assigned and basically how did you input them. And about inputting them into the system, this is something very easy. When you have your setup done, you just click add new asset. You input an image. I have already preloaded one with electric vehicle. You add an asset name. You add the asset class and the URL until where it's going to be showing. You can add the start and end date. For example, right now we have a love Black Friday promotions. So after Black Friday, you want it to end, so it does not show anymore. And then you add the specific tags. In here, again, there are the retail-oriented ones. But for example, for our cars, it could be the gender, the city, or the car type of interest. And you click next, and it's already there. And what's very useful for you as well, with the asset classes, you can see on the performance analysis tab, how many assets do you have, what are the click rates, and how is the performance going on, with very clear visuals, which is super useful for the business. Yeah, very nice. And last but not least, we have the Einstein content testing, which is used for testing effectiveness of image assets. And it's a great tool for testing, but this is more for journeys, for example, that's going to be running over long periods of time, where you have two different visuals, but they are not specifically assigned to any customer profile details. So how to set this up? Very quick introduction to how to do it. You just add a name of such tests. You input two images. So for example, in here, I'm going to be testing two different images of electric vehicle charging. You add the URLs, and in the options, you pick, is it going to be an automated test or a manual control? So how you're going to choose the winner of which image should be later showing up within the journey. And then you review it. And when you publish it, it's going to be there, and you can pick it from in the email creation. You have a specific tile with Einstein content testing and Einstein content selection, and you just drag it and drop it there. And again, with this tool, what's very cool is that you can see the content performance. So if you have few visuals, you can see how are they performing in terms of clicks or click to open rates over the time. And you can see which one is performing the best out of them. So that's all regarding the Einstein for Marketing Cloud. And let me right now pass the mic to Zuza, who's going to tell you more about security.
Thank you. So I hope you all get excited and eager to start using AI tools in your work or at your company. But before you do, let's talk about the other side of the coin, AI safety. And of course, we have very limited time. So my goal here is to just signal to you or present you a few examples of what kind of risks we can face with AI. So let's be honest. AI's core strengths, its versatility, autonomy, the ability to learn, and its lightning fast speed of processing and generating data far beyond human capacity are the very aspects that demand our careful attention. We need to always keep in mind that the scale at which AI can produce remarkable results is also the scale at which it can produce incorrect, harmful, or dangerous results. Okay, but let's look at a hypothetical scenario of what can go wrong if AI isn't governed responsibly. So we're back with our car dealership. Since the company has started using AI, they observed great improvements in productivity and profits. So the company started to grow and attracted a lot of engagement in social media channels. And so they realized that they are too short on resources to give every customer the same quality service as before. The company decided that the next best step is to invest in AI bots to manage communication in social media. They selected one of those new trendy plugins. And then, before launching this social media agent on one of the platforms, they ran just a couple tests to verify if the responses generated by the agent sounded believable and approachable. One day, an unsatisfied customer made a post on social media profile saying that one of the functionalities in the brand new car does not work as marketed. In fact, it's completely broken. And that is where the social media agent comes in with a reply. Well, you've never bought anything from us. Stop lying or we're gonna sue you. Next moment, the customer sends pictures with evidence. And at this point, the company does not look great. But that's not the end of the story. It turns out that this kind of behavior from the agent has happened more than once. In fact, many times. And the company learned about this from a media outlet, which provided more examples of the agent posting false claims and being rude to the customers. And yeah, you guessed it, it's even worse because it turned out that the social media agent tends to be more negative and rude towards a specific demographic. Eventually, the car dealership reputation is damaged, the agent becomes a meme, and the company forever will be an example of Gen AI going wrong. Okay, but let's recap what just happened, because with this example, we've touched upon a number of issues. First of all, and this is one of the most important questions that we can ask ourselves before employing an AI application, how much autonomy and control we're ready to give to our AI tool. So in our example, the hypothetical company gave the AI agent access to their social media platform and allowed it to engage with customers without supervision. So what could have been done better? Well, first, the company should have made a proper risk assessment. The tool they used was based on generative AI, which by design is at risk of producing hallucinations, which is false, inaccurate, or nonsensical information. Should such a tool have the permission to post messages without moderation? Are there other solutions that provide comparable benefits but pose lower risks? Well, one option would be to combine the strengths of AI, the speed and creativity, with the human decision-making and common sense. How? Well, by leveraging the AI for lightning-fast content generation and leaving people the job of reviewing, editing, and publishing the final content. If that reminds you of Einstein copy insights and subject line generation, for example, you're on the right track. At minimum, the company should have been transparent about the use of AI, inform customers about the potential issues, and ask for their feedback. This way, the company would not only work for customers' trust, but also would give the customers an open invitation for communicating their attitudes and observations about the tool. So, what else didn't work? Well, the company discovered that something was wrong about their AI from the news, right? That's any business's nightmare. Through this example, we can see that the car dealer relied too heavily on the AI in their transformation and scaling up process. The company didn't have proper monitoring mechanisms set up, either because they didn't have enough capacity, had inadequate tools for monitoring, or they didn't even set up monitoring mechanisms in the first place. Without monitoring, the company increased the negative impact of the tool's unintended behavior. Moreover, when building an AI strategy, we need to remember that no software is bulletproof. And especially with the current surge of new AI-based solutions and updates to the existing ones coming every day, we have to be more careful than ever about the reliability and stability of the tools we choose. And we always should have a backup plan. Back to the scenario, the social media agent turned out to treat selected group of people in a harmful way. This is an example of the AI bias, which unfortunately is very difficult to account for and tackle. Generative AI tools such as large language models are trained on massive amounts of data, which inevitably contain bias, because that's the world that we live in. But this problem doesn't only concern generative AI. It can also happen with our predictive analytics tool. The most important part is that the bias can be introduced at every step of AI development and maintenance. Starting from collecting data to then just gathering this data and making the analysis and selecting proper metrics for the algorithm, for example, such as the metric for what is just according to the algorithm. This is why one of the most important technical mitigation strategies for avoiding bias, or maybe not avoiding, but minimizing bias, include collecting diverse and representative data, performing data audits, performing adversarial testing when we test the AI to its limits and we test for special cases, and continuous monitoring. But it is equally important to consider the organizational mitigation strategies, such as increasing diversity, because with wider perspective, we have a better chance of avoiding some biases in the development of solutions or spotting them in already existing applications. Then there's also training, raising awareness about biases that happen in our everyday life or are often implicit. And of course, building better understanding of how AI systems work and how they can perpetuate bias. As users of existing tools, as opposed to developers of AI systems, we should assess any AI tool before employing it in our business. We should consider cultural and business context, and we should diligently verify the provider of the tool. Does they commit to and share their guidelines for anti-discriminatory policies? Do they include anti-bias guardrails, such as filters developed with human-in-the-loop strategy? So, what the car dealership in our example could have done better? First, they should have done due diligence when selecting the tool, and not just taking the tool that is most trendy right now. They could have not given the tool full autonomy to apply without supervision. But also, they should have been monitoring the results and react as soon as they found the issue. Additionally, they could share the information about the issue with the tool provider so that they can assess and mitigate the risk in the model itself. Now, are there any other considerations that we could keep in mind? Well, of course, many in fact. But I could not finish this presentation without mentioning one of the most important considerations, especially to us marketers: privacy. According to the State of Connected Customers report done by Salesforce, 79% of customers say they are increasingly protective of their data. If we want to strengthen the trust and also leverage the AI power, we need to make sure that we only collect the data that was willingly and explicitly given to us, the data that we actually need, and the data, and we need to be honest about how we will be using and processing data, always keeping in mind what value would be brought to the customers when we use it. And we need to give the customers possibility to easily remove their data whenever they no longer want to share it. In order to adhere to all those commitments and regulations when using AI, we need to be extra careful and plan our policies and AI strategy in advance. Some AI systems, such as generative AI, pose novel risks when it comes to data management. For example, by sharing private PII or proprietary data with an open access AI tool such as a chatbot, we might not be able to ever explain how this data will be used in future, or we might not be able to remove it. What's worse, this data can leak at any point. This is why we should mitigate such problems by raising our user awareness, anonymizing sensitive data before placing it in AI model, and having a zero data policy agreement with AI tools providers so that they don't store the data. As the final thought, whether you are at an executive position at your company, or you're a consultant, developer, or marketer, still, I consider it our personal responsibility to be aware about and mitigate the risks and considerations that come with the use of AI. And that would be all from me. Thank you very much. And now we can move on to questions.
Okay, so I'm joining you for the Q&A session because we have some questions to our speakers. And also I can see that we still have some time. So if you guys have any questions, this is the time to ask them. Please leave them in the comments box. I will be sure to present them to our speakers. Okay, so I think we might go to this setting right now, and I can show you the first question. And it's about, if I remember correctly, it's about some beginner-friendly tools and solutions. Okay, this is the first one. For someone new to AI in marketing automation on Salesforce, what would be the first step or tool that you recommend exploring to incorporate AI without feeling too overwhelmed?
Okay, I'm gonna take this one because I think it's directed towards my part. I think this is a fantastic question, and many business managers and people working on marketing cloud instances are scared of AI because they are scared of being overwhelmed. So with such a first step, I think a fantastic thing is the send time optimization that I have shown as the first one, because I think this is the easiest and the quickest to understand and implement into your journeys. You just add the specific tell into your journey builder, and all of your emails are going to be within that particular journey are going to be sent within the time period you have set up.
Great. Zuza, is there anything that you want to add to this, or is that all?
I think that will be all.
Okay, so I'll show the next one. Best practices, yeah. Are there any best practices or case studies showcasing successful implementations? Any sources that you would recommend without revealing any secrets?
Totally. So I think we can both answer to that one, but I'm going to start first. So within the Salesforce implementations, the documentation is always a place to search for your information, all of the Salesforce materials. There are so many great examples, so many ideas on how to implement those things, and visual guidelines, written guidelines. You can always reach those sources and check those materials if you're looking for details.
And maybe I will also answer from the security side, because I really love what Salesforce does with Einstein Trust Layer. And I really recommend looking it up because they're presenting some of the tools that can be used as mitigation for the risk that I was overviewing. And it really is very interesting, and you can see that there are a lot of great ideas. For example, they have this, or it will be coming soon actually, functionality for dynamic grounding. So for example, when I was talking about hallucinations and false informations that can be given by generative AI, it is good to have something like data grounding in place, where you can provide some information to the model with the prompt, so with the query that is given to the model, so that it has some context, and it will be trying to generate response with this context in mind. So you can even get citation. I'm not sure if you use, for example, Bing Chat. It also have this sources, and this can be done with something like the data grounding, or what is called retrieval augmented generation. So maybe that would be an answer from my side.
Sure thing. Thank you so much. Okay, and we have another one. Last call for those of you who want to ask your questions. And now this is the one that I have on my list. Would personalization be the main focus in using AI in marketing?
So I can start on this one as well, because I've noticed it popped up at the time of my part of the presentation, which I think it may be related to the business use cases. And I think it's a wider topic for the discussion, because AI in marketing can be targeted on different ways. So from the business perspective, the personalization is a great focus. And yeah, from the business perspective, it may be one of the biggest things. But from personal perspective of employees and managers, I think it's also about the speed and the time efficiencies you have using the AI, because all of the things that I have mentioned, actually it's about shifting our perspective on how do we search information. Because in the modern world, we're used to Googling things, we're used to searching it within our search bar and then scrolling through the many pages of the results. But what AI does is providing us informations within one tool, within one click. If you know how to prompt correctly, you can save so much time for searching the information and searching the details. And this shifts our way on how do we perceive searching for information. So I would say, just summing it up, at least from my perspective, personalization is the main focus for the business perspective in marketing. But from the personal perspective, I think it's the time efficiencies.
Yeah, and actually, Kinga, I wanted to say the same thing. So I think we should have a broader look at this and think about the scale at which we can produce content, for example, and engage. So we shouldn't only limit ourselves to thinking about personalization, but also about thinking of our team, of ourselves, how we can be more efficient at what we do, and what kind of repetitive task we do, so that we can maybe automate them, and also just bring more creativity to our work. And I think, yeah, I can add much more, but I think Kinga, your response was perfect.
Great. Thank you so much. And I believe this is the last question that we have in our comments right now. But this doesn't mean that you guys are done with answering the questions, right? Because our speakers will now join those virtual stands to answer your questions in a Q&A online session. So if you want to add some more questions to our speakers, please visit our virtual stand, stage.s4summit.pl. Then you can find PwC Poland out there, and you can talk to our speakers some more. You can also ask a recruiter about some job offers, which I think is also very attractive to do. Girls, thank you so much. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I can see people thanking you in the comments for your participation and your presentation. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you soon during another S4 Summit in the springtime. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.